As candidate Barack Obama, he was a European sensation. Now as president, he arrives in the midst of a full-blown economic crisis.
The response that people have had to our administration and the steps that we've taken are ones that are restoring a sense of confidence and the ability of the United States to assert global leadership.
First stop, London, England, for the G20 summit, where the leaders of 20 countries who together represent more than 85% of the global economy will tackle the worldwide economic meltdown.
The fire has continued uncontrolled and spread to hit most of the world. You've had, devastating impacts on global trade. You've also seen seeds of potential instability with unemployment and protest ranging from Latvia to China.
Already in anticipation of the international gathering, protests are raging in many European streets, some of it squarely directed at the U.S.
There's a lot of anger at the United States, or that national actions or national inattention led to this crisis, even if in reality it was also international as well.
In London, President Obama will meet with Queen Elizabeth II and the leaders of Britain, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, India, and South Korea. His message, the recovery of the U.S. economy, is tied to the economies around the world.
All of us are going to have to take steps in order to lift the economy.
But just 5 months ago at the last G20 summit held in Washington, D.C., most of those same leaders who pledged to fight protectionism and support free trade have broken their promises. So the question is whether this time will be any different.
The last statement was really a toothless tiger. Everyone ignored it and went ahead and enacted protectionist measures, 17 out of the G20.
Even President Obama is accused of backpedaling.
The administration has said major commitments to open markets and free trade, but allowed things like Buy America to go forward. Are we walking away from those commitments? It's going to be a critical question for the world, and it's making a lot of people nervous.
Across the globe, as stock markets have plummeted, unemployment skyrockets, and poverty increases, world leaders are looking for different ways to fix their crumbling economies. The U.S. is most invested in pumping lots of money into its economy to stimulate growth. But in the Czech Republic, where Mr. Obama will visit on Saturday, its former prime minister said Obama's economic plan was the road to hell. Some analysts say that provocative statement reflects a popular sentiment among European leaders.
They probably agree with him in the sense that there is this substantive difference over emphasis on stimulus versus emphasis on regulatory reform, but they probably would have preferred that the Czech Prime Minister not speak with quite that level of candor.
Mr. Obama's week-long trip will also take him to France, Germany, the Czech Republic, and a predominantly Muslim country, Turkey. The president will tackle many issues, including climate change, energy, terrorism, and nuclear threats. But to be sure, the economy will be front and center. Suzanne Malveaux, CNN, Washington.